Hi, I'm Ellie, and I am the hair analysis expert for the case of the abduction of Matt Davis. So first, I'm going to start by going through the unknown samples that were found at the scene of the crime. So first, on the victim's shirt, there was an animal hair that was straight, blonde, imbricate, and the medulla pattern was absent. Next, hair found in suspect 1's car, which suspect 1 is Vanessa Anderson. This hair was human hair. It was straight, blonde, the cuticle pattern was imbricate, and the medulla pattern was absent. Next, on suspect 2's shirt, suspect 2 is Chris Anderson. There was animal hair that was straight, blonde, imbricate, and absent. This hair matches the hair also found on the victim's shirt. Next piece was hair found on the ground by the crime scene. This hair was human. It was straight, red, imbricate, and the medulla pattern was continuous. The next piece of hair was also found on the victim's shirt, and this was human hair, straight, blonde, imbricate, and medulla pattern was absent. The last piece of hair that I found was on the bottom of the victim's shoe. So this hair was an animal piece of hair, and it was straight, blonde, imbricate, and the medulla pattern was also absent. So if we go back to the victim's shirt, I believe that this piece of hair would match the golden retriever dog that is owned by the Andersons. Moving on to the hair found in suspect 1, which is Vanessa Anderson's car. This hair was human, straight, blonde. I believe that this could match Matt Davis. Suspect 2 shirt, which is Chris Anderson. This hair was also matching the same as their golden retriever, which makes sense. Hair found on the ground by the crime scene. This hair was human hair, straight, red, which I believe matches Vanessa Anderson. Victim's shirt, piece of hair number 2, is human, straight, and blonde. Now, Chris also has human, straight, blonde, and also has an imbricate and absent medulla. So, and then the last piece of evidence is on the bottom of the shoe, which this was another animal hair that was straight and blonde, which could easily have matched the golden retriever. So, those are my pieces of evidence, and those are the potential sources that I believe that they came from.
Hi, I'm Alex Melizia, the fiber analyst on the case of Matt Davis. At the crime scene, there are 2 pieces of fiber evidence that helped play a big role in finding the killer. The first piece of evidence was fibers from a golden retriever. These fibers of dog hair found on Matt Davis' shirt at the crime scene on the lake. After being examined, these fibers were proven to be from the golden retrievers from the Andersons couple. Could this be because Matt played with the dog at the park, or something else and deeper than that? The second piece of fiber evidence was from a car seat. It is determined that the seat fibers could only be from 2 different cars. The Andersons' cars and Mary Bloom, who was the babysitter of Matt Davis. In terms of fiber evidence, the only person that can be ruled out is Apple Smith. Now, to our fingerprint analysts.
Hello everyone, my name is Maeve Norman and I'm the fingerprint expert on the Matt Davis case. The information that we have on fingerprints found at the crime are pieces of class evidence, so they may not be used to pinpoint who the exact killer is, but it's rather used to narrow down who the suspects are and eliminate some of the suspects. It is also important that we pay attention to the alibis of the suspects, as it might tell us the storyline of how the fingerprints got to the crime scene. So without further ado, this is our fingerprint evidence on the Matt Davis case. There were 3 fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. One of them was from Matt Davis's glasses. Another one of them was found on a piece of park equipment. And the third fingerprint was found on a dog collar that was wrapped around Matt Davis's neck. The fingerprint that was found on Matt Davis's glasses was a tented arch on the right thumb, and this fingerprint matched Vanessa Anderson. The fingerprint found on the piece of park equipment belonged to Mary Bloom, and this fingerprint was a ulnar loop on the right thumb. The last fingerprint was found on the dog collar around Matt Davis's neck, and this fingerprint was a plain whorl on the left index matching Apple Smith's. So taking into consideration the alibis, Mary Bloom's alibi was that she was with the investigators, investigating and trying to find Matt Davis during the time that he was missing. And prior to this, she was at the park with him, so it would make sense why her fingerprints were found on pieces of park equipment around the area, and possibly narrow it down to the fact that she is not at least the prime suspect in this case. Secondly, Apple Smith, who is the dog walker, her fingerprints were found on the collar, as we now know, and she was a dog walker, so it would make sense why her prints were on the collar, but it is in question how the collar got around Matt Davis's neck. Lastly, Vanessa Anderson's fingerprint were found on the glasses, and this may indicate that she got close to the child, potentially touched him, which makes that seem a little bit more suspicious and bumps her up as a prime suspect. And in addition to this, Chris Anderson's shoe print was found around the scene of the crime. With this fingerprint information in mind, we hope to come closer to finding who the killer of Matt Davis was.
After all the other evidence was collected, we investigated more into text messages and credit card history of all the suspects. Firstly, we have Mary Bloom. Mary Bloom is the babysitter of Matt Davis. We see that in the morning at 9:29 a.m., Mrs. Davis texted Mary Bloom if she could babysit. She said yes. In the afternoon, Mary Bloom texted Mrs. Davis if it's okay for them to go to the park. It was all okayed by Mrs. Davis. Our next suspect is Apple Smith. Apple Smith got a text confirmation from her dog groomer's appointment that was scheduled for 4:30 p.m. Her credit card history shows that there was a $50 extra charge charged onto her account for showing up late to the appointment. Although her appointment was at 4:30 p.m., she showed up at 5 p.m., which resulted in the extra surcharge for her dog groomer's appointment. Next up, we have Vanessa and Chris Anderson. Although this was a short little picnic in the park for them, it looked on their credit card history like this was a big grocery list charge. It could be noticed that there was something else bought in the grocery cart. It is also seen in text messages between Chris and Vanessa Anderson and between their friends that their friends reached out to get drinks and dinner at a local bar and grill. Vanessa answered the text and agreed to going out that night and said, "What time were you thinking?" They were scheduled for 6 p.m. and they ended up never showing up. There was no credit card history stated on the Andersons' bank account regarding to a charge from a restaurant or from somewhere else that they could have gone out.
Throughout our investigation, there were many pieces of evidence that pointed to all the different suspects.
As we gathered more and more, the evidence started to point at a certain suspect.
As we come to a close of our investigation, we can finally conclude who or whom our culprit is.
Not one, but two culprits who kidnapped and then murdered Matt Davis. Vanessa and Chris Anderson were found guilty of the murder.